Languages Chinese 202 class 的，你也可以叫我梦晴。So with the modern languages, with WKU Chinese program, I had to experience the culture of Chinese. So last year I went to China on a trip and I got to experience the culture and all the amazing things that I was able to see the people and all the amazing things that they can do, like the food, the artwork, and many other things. I meant to do it a different order. I guess I messed up somehow. Anyways, so I was supposed to go to the language. So I'll learn the language itself because that's the point of the class. So I'll learn many things.我学了很多中文，我会说一些中文，我也能听懂中文，and 我还会写汉字。And then the last part of it would be the people. So the people are probably the most important part because what's a language and a culture without the people? And with the WKU Chinese program, I've been able to meet Chinese people and to speak with native speakers, and that improves my language skills a lot and lets me see a different perspective on a lot of things because I'm coming from an American point of view and hearing a Chinese point of view is a lot different. And so, well, on the trip that I took to China, the first place I went to was Beijing. So, this picture's me just outside of the Forbidden Palace. And so the Forbidden Palace, it was amazing because it's one of the most, historically significant places in China, China's history, because for many, many kingdoms, the most important man in China sat in the throne in there. And so obviously there's a huge historical importance. And also there's a lot of artwork. And my favorite artwork and other items, so probably my favorite was the ancient brasswares that they had there. And so the ancient brasswares were just ranged from bells to wine vessels. They were very interesting, very cool to see the workmanship that the people were able to do back then. And also the architecture of the Forbidden Palace itself was amazing, and just the ingenuity they had to be able to create such amazing buildings and with such little technology compared to what we have today. And so the next place we went to was Hangzhou, which is not the biggest city, but it's a province capital. And so 这张照片是西湖茶馆. So it's a tea house on West Lake. So 这茶馆的茶很好吃, very good tea. We got to stop here and we got to have some of the tea on West Lake. But at Hangzhou, we also got to go visit the 2016 G20 Summit building, which was cool because we got to go to a place where I think it's called G20 because 20 countries. 20 world leaders sat down in 2016 to talk about the future of our Earth's environment and what we're going to do to help save it from what's going on. And also, the city itself was absolutely beautiful just to see, because many of the city had many ruins from the old buildings. They left them there just as art pieces, I guess you could say. It's very interesting to walk around. It's also very cool to see the central canal of the city was still an integral part of a lot of people's lives. So just with different things, and also this was probably the city we got to walk around the most by ourselves. So we got to meet the most people, just native people. And it was very interesting because I was able to while I learned with Chinese and WKU, I was able to speak with some of the people, and they're all extremely friendly, very nice. And then the last place we went to was Shanghai. Oh, I accidentally passed that. That's not what I was supposed to do. So, 这张照片是我从船上拍的. So I took this from a boat on the river, the Yangtze River, that runs through Shanghai. And in Shanghai, we didn't do as much as we were there for a few days, but we went to the Shanghai Museum, and we went to Nanjing. So the Shanghai Museum was a very cool experience because they had many cultural artifacts, like super significant cultural artifacts. So that said that ranged from like a furniture set from like the 1600s to coins that were used by the common people back hundreds, nearly thousands of years ago. Probably the most significant artifact that was there, well, artifacts, was the calligraphy that they had there. And because I was able to read like a few of the characters, but of course, since they're in traditional, like really old, I couldn't read most of them. I only see what few of them understand what they mean. And then also, the next place we went to was Nanjingru. And the reason why this was so significant was because it was a brand new experience to see so, like, thousands of people so compacted into one place before. I'd never been in a location where there were so many people just walking around, just all there to buy something. Also, while I was there, I have a story of like where I found a candy. There was like me and my friends saw like what looked like a candy store, like the people were just making candy, and I was able to go in there and ask them things about the candy, like what flavor is this, how much is it, and purchase something on my own with no help from one of the people who was a native speaker on our trip, and that was a very eye-opening experience just to see a little bit more into how you actually communicate with other people in Chinese. So the next part is like, what have I learned in this class? So I learned many basic topics that are, although extremely important to communicate, such as greetings. So, 你好, 早上好, 晚上好, and 吃了吗? And then also directions. So I would ask for directions like 怎么去图书馆, 怎么去WKU, and like 怎么去饭馆. And then the next topic that I learned about was like timing. So how long is something, durations, what time is it, what actually time is it. So probably this can be summed up with 因为我有3个月没有说中文，所以我说的中文说的很不好. Though that's not true. I have spoken Chinese in the past 3 months, but I just thought that was kind of funny to say for this. And then also just like study, so like what's your major, how long have you studied, things like that. So 我选了化学专业, so a chemistry major. And then of course many more that I couldn't include in this PowerPoint because that would be way too long. It took me 2 years to learn all of this. I can't present it in 10 minutes. And then we've also done, the next part is like just the characters themselves, because the written language is just as important as the spoken language. So we've learned things like calligraphy, learned over hundreds of characters, written about dozens of like speeches for in-class assignments, and then also calligraphy with the water magic scrolls that they were talking about earlier, where you just write with water and disappears after a little bit. And then also for like the people, the WKU Chinese Club has been amazing and let me connect with many people and just learn a lot more about the language. So they've put on many events such as Hanhaochi Huoguo dinners, and the Voice of WKU was a great experience. Sadly, I don't have a picture of or video of my performance on there, so sorry guys. But it was great to be able to see just like different people just singing in Chinese, and also seeing dances that were related to the culture as it is. And then also I helped out with the International Festival and the contribution that the Chinese Club put for that. And so it was a lot of fun to be able to go and cook a lot of the food normal Chinese food, not like Americanized, and be able to see the many cultures interact with each other at the festival. And so in short, thank you all for this experience. It's been an amazing 2 years I've had so far, and that's really all I have to say.